You absolutely have to see Dan Abrams eviscerate Black Lives Matter co-founder Shavona Newsom, not to be confused. She spells hers Newsom with an E, not to be confused with greasy, corrupt, hypocritical lunkhead Gavin Newsom. It's absolutely momentous. But first, I have something to share, so stick around for that. Daniel Penny, who, by the grace of God, was acquitted yesterday in a very, very controversial and heated trial, even though there's nothing controversial about it. The man is an absolute hero. There need to be statues erected in his honor as a father, as a husband. I would pray to the Lord that if somebody like Jordan Neely, an absolute degenerate drug dealer, criminal who's been arrested 42 times, was on a subway car with me and my family, I would only pray and I would only be super eternally grateful if somebody like Daniel Penny was in that subway car and did what he did so courageously. His first interview since being acquitted with Fox News, and I'm going to share with you a very, very interesting clip I want you to check out on Daniel Penny. And also, I just want to hear from you really quickly. What are your thoughts on the Daniel Penny verdict? Do you think that he got justice? Do you think that justice was averted? I would love to hear from you. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down emoji if you agree with the non-guilty verdict. Okay, let's check out this clip.
What in you caused you to want to get involved?
I mean, I'm not a confrontational person. I don't really extend myself. And like this type of thing is very uncomfortable. All this attention and limelight is very uncomfortable, and I would prefer without it. I didn't want any type of attention or praise, and I still don't. The guilt I would have felt if someone did get hurt, if he did do what he was threatening to do, would never be able to live with myself. And I'll take 1 million court appearances and people calling me names and people hating me just to keep one of those people from getting hurt or killed.
I really hope that President Trump or somebody honors Daniel Penny the way that he deserves. We need more people like him. We need more people who, sadly, are not dissuaded to be a good Samaritan. And the reason I say sadly is because what Alvin Do Nothing Bragg and this corrupt DEI woke justice system in New York City. Now we got Letitia Big Shame James, who's continuing her fraud case against Trump, even though every other case has been dismissed due to him being the president. It's just an absolute sham. It just takes our entire integrity and the brand, to quote really Kevin O'Leary, of America. It slings it and flings it in the mud, and we don't need that. God bless you, Daniel Penny. You deserve to have a beer. Whoopi Goldberg, worthless Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, she just can't help herself because she's so full of hate. She's just so full of brainwash, race baiting, race hustling, divisiveness. She actually had the audacity to say on her ridiculous show that should have gotten canceled years ago, she actually had the audacity to say, I just can't believe that he's having a beer after being acquitted. I mean, you just killed a guy. Why are you I mean, it's just so... I'm not even going to play you the clip because I don't want to give that gaggle of menopausal airheads a single molecule of my airtime, your airtime, and really the nation's airspace at all. Okay. Now, I've got a phenomenal clip from you. You guys remember I was showing you those clips outside the courtroom during the Daniel Penny trial. The domestic terrorist organization, the Black Lives Matter clan, whose sole purpose, whose only fuel for staying profitable, and they're all about profit, they haven't contributed a single penny to a black neighborhood, a black church, a black cause, zero. They haven't helped a single black child get a degree. I mean, they haven't done jack. They haven't contributed. They haven't housed anybody. They don't do anything but sow dissension and divisiveness. Watch this beautiful, glorious, delicious clip of Dan Abrams' absolutely obliterating the race-baiting, race-hustling that we all voted against as a mandate on November 5th against co-founder of Black Lives Matter, Siobhan Newsom. Watch this.
Diverse Manhattan jury. Why is well? It was 4 people of color. That's known typically as.
I was there during jury selection.
Whether it was
black women were shut out for having unconventional hair, but there were 9 white jurors.
Sorry, is that what they said? They said it was for unconventional hair. You're just presuming
it was
that
unconventional hair.
A juror was dismissed for having unconventional hair. That's made up.
No, it's not.
Who said?
No, it's not.
Which lawyer said that?
The defense attorney.
Which one? He said what?
He said that she had unconventional hair because her hair was purple, that she would have unconventional thoughts. And that, were you in the courtroom?
No, I was not.
For 7 weeks?
I was not. But I understand. But the idea, right? Well, but again, the notion that she's being dismissed because of her hair. I assume you're assuming it's because of her race, right?
It absolutely was about weight.
Right.
Why was the expert jury consultant brought in who got off people for OJ, who had a racial trial, who brought in Kyle Rittenhouse, a young man who bought an AR-15 and killed Americans exercising their
What does Kyle Rittenhouse have to do with this?
Because the jury expert who clearly got off Daniel Penny today,
it's the jury. It's not the jurors, right?
Jury expert.
Not the jurors who heard the case, right?
This woman specialized for 35 years in the psychology of juries.
Right.
She specialized in race.
You know how many of those specialists lose their cases?
Well, not this.
A lot of them.
That's why Daniel Penny took the great money of people who hate black people to pay her.
So it had to have been race, right? It's not possible. So here's my theory on this, and it's actually a reverse race thing, which I think you're going to really disagree with, right? Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think this case would have been charged if it had been a white victim and a white person who had held him in a chokehold. I don't even think there'd be charges in this.
I think it actually would. And I actually think that you would be calling Daniel Penny a murderer. Have you heard of Nathaniel Terry? A 27-year-old black man. He was an absolute monster in 2021. He killed an unidentified to this day homeless man in the project staircase. Mm-hmm. Did you see BLM come out for that type of monster? Grant our credibility. Well, when do we come out for cases that are not racially charged, would normally be ignored?
Why is this every single time? Did Daniel Penny say anything racist when it happened?
What is the labeling and the stereotypes? Daniel Penny, when he lied during interrogations, which no one is showing.
But answer my question. When was the race? When did he bring race into this?
Him a crackhead, and he said he was doing crackhead things. The problem is Daniel Penny showed no remorse for nothing he did, and that dishonors the real service people of this country, the real Marines who don't lie, who care for others, and who do no harm.
So do you not blame Jordan Neely at all? I mean, for what he did? He deserves no blame from your perspective, right?
Did you hear the witness testimony?
I'm asking you a question.
Or are you cherry-picking the ones?
I'm asking you a question. Do you blame Jordan Neely at all for his conduct?
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin in his pocket.
I wouldn't be if there were other. What about the witnesses? Let's play again, just so we're clear on the race.
Play Eddie Gibson, who begged Daniel Neely to stop.
Oh, again, but he stayed there throughout the incident.
Play the ones that fit the narrative.
Well, but what's the narrative? There's black women who were on the subway. It was mostly people of color on the subway.
What about a white man during cross-examination who said that he was afraid of Daniel Penny, the one who poured water onto his head and said that he was afraid? He was a white man.
Yeah, okay. So,
what about the Latino man who was holding his arms?
I'm not the one identifying everyone by race. You are. You're the one who keeps telling. Why? Why do you have to? There was nothing in this case.
When you look at the FBI, when you look at when hate crimes happen, when you look at when injustice happen to black people,
but let's agree. Let's agree to some. Look, I'm going to be doing a segment later this week on a missing black woman who has not been getting nearly enough attention.
Send it to me and I'll share the
by the media.
Absolutely.
Because I understand that, and to that degree, you have a fair point about the way sometimes the media and the justice system handles. But not in this case. This case, even the prosecutors conceded Daniel Penny had every right to go hands-on, and the question became, okay, when should he have stopped? I understand that.
The time frame on that from the DA's office was after 30 seconds. Can you not concede that Daniel Penny was a trained killer, that he not have his gray belt? United States Marine Corps is an assassin?
Sure, but
he knew.
Every Marine is a trained
because
assassin.
Actually, black Marines and white Marines have reached out and actually told us he went too far.
But going too far is different from criminal.
Let me break it down. a chokehold, a blood chokehold, which he did. You're only supposed to hold someone in that move for 8 to 13 seconds. Yeah. You're not supposed to do it longer than 2 minutes. Why did Daniel Penny, when the train was completely clear, everyone was on the platform, why did he hold it for nearly 6 minutes?
Because he was scared.
He was, a Marine is scared of of someone he labeled as a crackhead.
Again, is it not possible that Daniel Penny, when he's doing this on the spot, stepping up to help people of many different races, moves in and doesn't have a clock with him to decide when he should stop and when he shouldn't, which is why in the end the jury acquitted, right?
No, actually, Daniel Penny was trained very well by the United States Marine Corps, and he knew what the signs were. He knew when Jordan's body was slacking. He knew that Jordan was going to die. Why didn't you show his face, Dan? You're a good man. Of when he laughed and when the first response, I'm critical of the police. We know this, right? NYPD tried to save his life while they were doing chest compressions. Daniel Penny laughed and said, trust me, a good person, a hero. One last thing. Why did he never ask about the well-being in that police department about Jordan Neely?
So you're asking, a hero. You're asking a lot of questions that are sort of rhetorical questions, right? But the ultimate question is, why did the jury acquit? Is it because they're racist?
America is inherently biased.
So the jury is racist.
Have you seen?
I'm asking you a question. No, don't change the subject. Is it because the jury is racist?
Yes.
You might as well be arguing with a wall. I mean, it's just there's no space. You know, we've all felt like that, I'm sure. You know what it feels like when you argue with somebody and it's not that maybe arguing isn't the correct word, but you literally just want, you know in your heart viscerally that you know the difference between something that is taken out of context, something that is used to fit a specific narrative, something that is used to fit a personal vendetta of some sort or some type of personal animus, versus just looking at things objectively, factually, and actually seeing things as they are without a prism or lens that governs your interpretation. And you just know it. You know it in your heart. You're like, no. This is what happened. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. There is no, what are you talking about XYZ? What are you talking about? You know, it's really tragic and sad, because I actually think that Shavona, if I'm saying that right, I could be mispronouncing her. I'll probably get canceled for being a racist. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Somebody correct me in the comments. She's actually intelligent. She's actually articulate. It's just channeled. And I'm not really sure, it's channeled really perversely, and her intelligence is being governed by something nefarious, or it's being directed in a way that maybe even unbeknownst to her, or she could not even care, or maybe she's too smart for her own good, in a way that is just not amenable. It defies logic. But I really get this sense, I think this may be more accurate, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I get this strong sense that when she is just arguing for arguing's sake, when there is zero malleability, she will not bend even for a micro nano millisecond of, you know what, I'm going to take myself out of this white hate persona and this white hate mask for just 2 seconds and try to see things in a different light or from a different perspective. It's all done intentionally, because the money machine, this is her livelihood. Her livelihood is Black Lives Matter. And there would be no entity called Black Lives Matter if she didn't sow this. So this kind of dissension and this kind of division is literally the lifeblood of her business, her organization. And without that, if everybody got along, and if everybody actually came together, and everybody actually looked at things factually without race ever being included in any argument, her organization would go bankrupt. So is she doing this intentionally? Is this just her hustle, just her money grab? Probably. I think that's more apt, because she's actually an intelligent young woman. But maybe if more people are aware that it's all intentional, that there is no, I'm here for black people, I want black people to get along, I want black people to get justice. If black people actually got justice the way that she's talking about, she'd be out of business. That's a fact. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I'd love to get your comments on this. What do you guys think? Am I out of line? Am I onto something? Not onto something? As I always say, I welcome all viewpoints as long as they're constructive and they engage in critical thought. All links and personal ad hominem attacks, they go right to spam, so just forget about it. If you're interested in getting our one-of-a-kind made in the USA, look at how amazing that is. We want the American people have spoken. Original made in the USA merch. We got hats, mugs, hoodies, shirts, Christmas ornaments, you name it. Go in the pinned comment, show notes, and description, or just go to professornez.com/merch and get it now. We are not Amazon. You're not going to get it in 24 hours. I'm just being transparent and honest. It takes time to make and create and ship these. We're not, a big box store. I'm just doing this because I love the design, and I'm so happy that we won. I'm so happy and proud of the American people, and I want to show it. Give your family and loved ones something unique this Christmas. So it takes a little bit of time. So order now so you can get it in time for Christmas. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. Sign up for our free newsletter as well in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.